Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be looking at the governance and regulation room, the TryHackMe free room. And if you are into GRC or planning to venture into GRC, when I say GRC, I mean governance, risk, and compliance. If you are venturing into it, this is a good room for you. You can explore around. You're going to be learning about governance and regulations in the system, the principles of security. Let's dive in. From the first tax, we'll be learning about some important terminologies. We'll be breaking down what GRC actually means. Okay, so the governance, the regulation, and compliance side. You will look at the strategies, the policies, procedures, the risk management, and then you look at the key benefits of governance and regulations. How does it benefit organizations? How does it benefit individuals? This comes across this is something regulated in almost not almost in every country in this world. We know the GDPR, the HIPAA, the PCI-DSS. These are the most popular regulatory compliance we have. Diving into our questions, what law enforcement enforces compliance and protects against harm? That's the regulation. And then the HIPAA is normally targeted for healthcare industry. The DAX 3, we'll be looking at the in frameworks. We'll be looking at the scope, how to develop this governance documents. So in developing it, you have to look at the the entire school, the structure. First, you start from the identity, then you have to research and review, draft the document, review and approve, implement and communicate, and then you have to review and update. Review and update is one of the most critical functions of this structure they have here. So this will bring us to making an incident response procedure. This is one popular thing. If you are learning or you are a beginner in cybersecurity and you are taking courses like the ICS square, whatever cybersecurity foundational course you are taking, you're going to be seeing this particular procedure, the incident response procedure. So it's the same, but some of them break it down into further details. Okay, it's the same everywhere, just that some are broken down into further details. To answer the questions, the steps in monitoring the compliance and adjustment is called what? The review and update. That's the most critical part I said. Then the set of steps in undertaking a particular task. What are the necessary steps in undertaking a particular task? If you read through this document, you will know that this is a very simple answer. This is the procedure side they are referring to. Then we move to tax 4, which breaks down what how to develop a GRC program. For example, you are trying to organize a GRC program for your organization. How do you develop that GRC program for it? How would it be like? So, for example, if you are looking at in the financial sector, you have to consider what the governance related activity, the governance management activity, and compliance activities as well. So, depending on the organization you are developing your GRC framework for, would also determine how you structure it. But in all, you have to what define the scope, conduct a risk assessment, develop your policies and procedures, governance, implement controls, and verify. Now, with the first question, components that involves identifying and prioritizing the organization is what? Risk management. And you always have to what? Develop a policy. That's true. Tax 5 is the GDPR. This is about data protection. How do we protect our data? How do we protect it from data breaches? What are the consent of data? What are some of the privacy designs? How do we transfer our data? What kind of awareness is there for it? What kind of protection or individuals are managing our data? So if you read it, we have the tiers, tier 1 and 2. So the maximum fine tier for GDPR is how many years? If you go against it, the maximum fine years is 4. In the term of PCI PCI-DSS. What does the CHD stands for? If you read, it's just right in your faces. That's the card holder data. But let's troubleshoot. If you don't know and you see this CHD, what would you be thinking it is? What would you be thinking the CHD is? That's what you'll be looking at. But this CHD basically means the card holder data. Okay. Then tax 6, we will look at the NIST. NIST is also what? A privacy control. And then the next is broken down into different categories. Like you can see, we have the admin control, we have the technical, we have the physical and strategic. We also have program management consoles, also has different key points in them. You can have the insider threat program, you have the data integrity board, the offloading, the program and privacy program policies, the system inventory, risk management, and then the best practices, the compliance best practices. What do we do? How, what is there a law that we need to abide by? What are the best practices for complying to data protection? So when you look at the questions below, per this NIST 853, in which category does the media protection lie? So all the categories you see here have different points they are focusing in. But when they say the media protection line, it falls under the physical. It falls under the physical. That is under physical control. Then, in which category does the incidence response also lie? When you look closely, the incidence response lies in the administrative control. Then, in which phase does the best practice in correlating identified assets and permission also? What phase? This is the phase, and that's the map. Tax 7, you're looking at the ISO IEC 2000 27001, the IEC, and this basically requires you to what? Plan, develop, run, and update. Plan, develop, run, and update. So we are going to look at the benefits of this ISO. It is there to help you lower costs, for confidentiality of your information, to increase trust, to provide you with a structured method, to fulfill international requirements, to minimize your IT risk, reduce the chances of security breaches, control IT risks, and also detection of vulnerabilities. So we have the service organization control, that's the SOC. The SOC 2. These people can also be in charge of compliance and auditing frameworks. And they offer solutions that help you to process, store, and transmit sensitive data. If you go below, you're going to be seeing this SOC 2 diagram and the what's it called, surrounding tasks or surrounding methods they abide by or they perform. So the SOC 2 has to do with the security, the availability, the confidentiality, the privacy, and integrity. Basically, the CIA with security and privacy parts of them. So, which component involves selecting and implementing controls to reduce identified risks at an acceptable level? That's risk treatment. And with the SOC 2, which controls the system's availability? That's availability. Now with the tax 8, that's the last tax, you would need to what? View or provision a sandbox environment. That's the view the site, then answer the questions that are pertaining to it. That's if you understand what you read. Answer the questions that are pertaining to it if you understand what you read. So we are going to be doing this. with me. We're going to be arranging them, shooting our rockets. All right. So to yeah, that's the purple. So the blue. Then the last one. Yeah, we are done. Now we got our flag. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.